Okay, so I'm back talking about how I took my A1C from over an 11 to a 6.3, and I'm still working on it. And so I had talked about that I'm doing something different than what I did when I first started. When I first started, I was just really into protein, and I loved my chicken, I loved my fish, I loved my seafood, I loved my, the beef, and I just loved that, and lamb, and all of that. And so I was a high protein, eater. And what I will say is that protein does lower your blood sugar. It can lower your blood sugar. It does not raise it. Certain types of carbohydrates and obviously sugar and things like that will raise your blood sugar. And so I was thrilled. I was like, great, I'm going to eat protein, eat what I want, when I want. And I did. I wasn't counting any calories. And I, was bringing my blood sugar down. It was at over 11, and then it went down to a 9, it went down to a 7. And, but there was different ways of what I did with my meat. So for example, I didn't want to start off, and I said this in the previous video, I didn't want to like go extreme. So I had to start off slow, what I thought I could do. I just have to repeat that. If you start off in an extreme way, you may not be able to maintain that. Typically, if you give yourself time, then you typically can do it for a longer period of time. So this journey for me has been 3 years now. And I had told myself I'd give myself a few years. So I like chicken, and I would take and say, okay, I want some fried chicken. Like one night for dinner, I was like, I want some fried chicken. What can I do? And so I didn't coat it with any flour. I seasoned it with my salt, pepper, and some type of seasoning. And to make it crispy, there's two things I did. One was I just simply, fried it in oil. But then there were times I wanted to be really crispy, like it had flour on it. And so what I would do is I would take an egg and I whip that egg up, and I would dip the chicken in the egg, and I'd fry it. And the chicken dipped in the egg made it incredibly crispy. I mean, people would, get my chicken and think that it was just normal, regular, chicken with flour, and it had no flour on it whatsoever. And they loved it. The other thing I did is that I ate protein typically in the morning. So I would have a big protein breakfast. So I'd maybe fix some lamb chops. I'd season my lamb chops with some type of like lemon, herb, kind of flavor. I'd put some oil in the pan. I'd cook my lamb chops there. I'd have my lamb chops, maybe some salad with it. I may have some salmon, pan sear it, or I would just bake it in the oven and season it, the way that I like it, and enjoy that. So I really did eat my protein, definitely in the morning, because it made me feel full throughout the day, and it also made me feel happy. I remember hearing that somewhere, and I was thinking, yeah, you do feel good, I don't know why that is. I've never done research on it. Maybe you guys in the chat can say this is what protein does. I don't know. But that's what I was doing. And I just found that I was enjoying it. I was still eating my vegetables. I still had my cashews, my almonds, my, walnuts and things like that. I still have my sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. And so I'm still doing that. And I was eating very little, I was eating very little sugar. And so I had really kind of cut a lot of that out, because my snacking in this high protein way that I was eating, I just wasn't craving. I wasn't really hungry for anything. And so then I just didn't need that. So that was what I did in the beginning. And then I also was taking supplements. So I would take things like chromium picolinate, because that was something that could help had read help to lower your blood sugar. And I did find that helpful. I went out of the country once, and instead of taking, certain types of pills and shots and things like that, one of the doctors suggested I take neem. And so I took these neem capsules to protect myself from, things going on in the country I was visiting. And I kept noticing that my blood sugar was unbelievable. And there were times that I had some chocolate, and I didn't understand why my blood sugar was like really incredibly well below 100 every day. And then when I got back to the States, I said, I'm going to look up neem. And I looked up neem and found out that neem could actually help to lower your blood sugar. And so that was something that was interesting to hear that. So, like I said, I kind of started with protein. I found some supplements that were helpful for me, and that's what I did. Now, the next video, I want to talk about supplements and medication, and then what I'm doing today that's very different. And my blood sugar is going down, my cholesterol has gone down, and things are just, going. I'm just doing well. So, and it's very different. And I'm not the protein eater that I was years ago.